Good afternoon. We'd like to start the joint press conference between Kawasaki Heavy Industries, Iwatani Corporation, and Toyota Motor Corporation. I'd like to introduce to you today's speakers. Mr. Hashimoto, Representative Director and CEO of Kawasaki Heavy Industries Limited. Mr. Hiroshi Majima, the President of Iwatani Corporation. And Mr. Koji Sato, Operating Officer, Incoming President of Toyota Motor Corporation. So these three will be addressing to you today. So we would like to have the presentation first from Sato-san, Mr. Sato, then from Mr. Hashimoto, and then from Mr. Majima, and open up for Q&A. Thank you.
Thank you. Once again, I'm Sato. Thank you very much for this opportunity today. For this season, we had been preparing a new attempt to participate with the hydrogen engine vehicle using liquid hydrogen. However, as we have announced a few days ago, we have encountered a problem during a test run, and the vehicle could not be recovered in time. Therefore, it will be absent from this race. For those who have been looking forward to see the hydrogen engine vehicle, and also those who have been worked with us together to prepare for this race, we'd like to apologize. However, we will continue on the developments with our full power toward challenging the next Fuji 24 hours race. This is what we will be working with our full efforts. And if I can reflect on what kind of initiatives that we have been doing for this hydrogen engine, actually this is our third year in participating in the Super Taikyu Series with our hydrogen engines. Purposeful passion and action will achieve carbon neutrality. And if there's no options, let's make it ourselves. This is the philosophy that pushed us to continue training the hydrogen engine at the motorsports races. And from last year, we have introduced the vehicle that runs with carbon neutral fuel. So it will be a different vehicle, but it is another challenge that we are making in order to increase the options. And under these circumstances, as we have built up our experience with each race, we have been working on our collaboration with like-minded partners, and it has been progressing in producing, transporting, and using energy. This collaboration has been very important. And because it is important, we are seeing that there are more people coming to partner with us. At the time that we entered in this race for the first time in May of 2021, we had 8 partner companies. That's where we started. And actually, this number at the end of last year has increased to 30. And this time, as we have challenged using liquid hydrogen, the number of these partner companies has increased to 39 companies. And for the companies that are related to the parts for the hydrogen engines, but even other than that, the sustainability or carbon neutral part development has been progressed at these motorsports racing sites. And for the mass production vehicles, these developments will be contributing. So this kind of challenge has been taking place from a wide perspective. That is the position of this Super Taikyu race series. And especially among that, we are going to be focusing our challenge to the liquid hydrogen area. And this will be a world's first challenge. Probably this will be the state-of-the-art challenge, the first in the world, that will be taking place at these motorsports sites. And to utilize the liquid hydrogen, the vehicle itself is important, as I've said earlier. But more than that, we have to think of the whole energy supply chain. And this is another point that we think is very important, especially for producing and transporting. We have been partnering with companies who have long experience with liquid hydrogen, like Kawasaki Heavy Industries and Iwatani Corporations. And thanks to the strong partnership, we have been able to, in a very short time, create a structure to allow up to the supply process. And with this hydrogen engine, in order to race in the motorsports, we have been able to identify the various issues and challenges thanks to our partners. So I think we are depending heavily on this strong partnership so that we want to continue to take on the challenge together. Especially President Hashimoto will be explaining from Kawasaki Heavy Industries after me, but they have been involved in a project to produce lignite-derived hydrogen and gasify it in Australia. So they are starting to be engaged in the producing process and up to the transportation using the liquid hydrogen carrier to the port of Kobe. So hydrogen supply chain is increasing its importance, and there a strong technology capability has been contributed by Iwatani Sangyo, and also they have a strong passion. And thanks to their effort and passion, we are seeing progress in the utilization of liquid hydrogen. And for Iwatani Corporation, they have newly developed a mobile liquid hydrogen station. And for those who know about our initiatives last year, you know that the high pressure supply of hydrogen needed to take a large amount of space in order to do the filling. So we had a large size filling station at the backside of the circuit. I think you remember that. But utilizing liquid hydrogen, they have challenged on developing the infrastructure side. And this time, if we were to have our liquid hydrogen vehicle, we were to use a very compact mobile liquid hydrogen station that can fit within the pit area. So this infrastructure challenge is being promoted by our partners as well. The size would be 4 times smaller than the conventional station that was used for the gasified hydrogen. This kind of development is progressing as well on the infrastructure side. So in order to achieve hydrogen society, these comprehensive challenges are being identified by the collaboration between partners, and that here motorsports have a big contribution and role to play. Unfortunately, we weren't able to enter our hydrogen engine Corolla, but these kinds of initiatives, these activities will continue and be enhanced toward the next Fuji 24-hour race. And in the meantime, by having these efforts made at the actual sites, we want to explore the various ways of climbing the market and looking at various options, including the challenge of securing energy security. And also, we would want to receive the further understanding of the general public and also have good teamwork with the partners and have passion to put our full effort in these initiatives. So that will be all from myself. Thank you.
This is Hashimoto speaking from Kawasaki Heavy Industries, or KHI. First, it is an honor for us to be able to join in this race as a partner. I'm endeavoring for a carbon neutral using hydrogen, following 22 and 21. It's a very big honor for us. We, KHI, was invited by Toyota Motor Corporation in 2021. We have joined forces with Iwatani Corporation and J Powers to first, offer and supply gaseous hydrogen air cargo from Australia at Super Taikyu race. In 2022, through a partnership of 6 partners, including Toyota Motor Corporation. So we have made a demonstration of off-road four-wheeler using hydrogen direct injection engine at the Super Taikyu race. So through the race, we were able to learn, and we were able to and make endeavor with passion and determination. In this year's race, Toyota Motor Corporation will be using liquid hydrogen as the fuel of the racing car. So that's their endeavor. We have had strong empathy on their passion, and we are going to supply hydrogen carried from Australia to Kobe with our CISO Frontier, our hydrogen carrier, world's first hydrogen carrier manufactured by KHI. This hydrogen is transported and produced by Hystra, an R&D association which we have established with Iwatani Corporation and J-Power. KHI has been doing hydrogen power generation pilot project in Kobe from 2018. Last June, we were able to partner with Obayashi Corporation to do a power generation pilot using hydrogen imported from Australia. In this year's race, Toyota Motor Corporation will be using this hydrogen. Now we are able to stretch the use of hydrogen in the field of mobility. So we have more options in the supply chain use. Liquid hydrogen has high transportation efficiency, non-toxic, odorless, and you do not need additional energy like electricity in using. So you can take the imported liquid hydrogen, transport them in a tank lorry, transport them to race, and all you need to do then is charge the car as a clean fuel. So this type of usage would be leveraged in such large size mobilities like aircraft, a vessel, or truck, and it could be leveraged on power generation at plant, and it could be used at a hydrogen station. We are convinced we have many use of this technology. Now, I'd like to make an update on our endeavor for bringing hydrogen society into reality. The other day, we have made a release with Iwatani Corporation and other partners on Green Innovation Fund, which is intended for commercialization of hydrogen supply chain by 2030. And we have released that the pilot project will be conducted in Australia and also the coastal area of Kawasaki City, Kanagawa Prefecture. Through this pilot project, we are going to bring down the unit price of hydrogen to 30 yen per normal cubic meter by 2030. And we want to demonstrate that we can do that. One of the most important part of the project is the supply of super large hydrogen carrier, which KHI will be taking up. This ship, will have 128 times capacity of hydrogen transportation compared with the current Suiso Frontier. This is going to significantly contribute to the cost reduction of hydrogen energy. In the future, for supply, we will be partnering with Iwatani Corporation, J-Power, and ENEOS. And on the usage side, we will be partnering with Toyota Motor Corporations and other partners in the other field. We will continue with the endeavor to bring carbon-neutral society into reality. I would like to ask for your continued support. Thank you very much for your attention.
I am Majima from Iwatani Corporation. I'm here today as one of the like-minded partners in achieving carbon neutrality, and I would like to explain from the perspective of hydrogen supply the initiatives of our company. For Iwatani Corporation, from more than 80 years ago, we have been engaged in the hydrogen business. So our company covers from the hydrogen materials procurement, manufacturing, transportation, and supply. So the whole process is developed in-house. And within the domestic market, the hydrogen share, we have been able to achieve 70%. Especially regarding liquid hydrogen, we are the only company in Japan that is engaged in commercial manufacturing and sales. At this Super Taikyu race, our company is in charge of filling the liquid hydrogen to the hydrogen engine Corolla. Compared to the conventional vehicles, the vehicles using liquid hydrogen can carry more amount of hydrogen on each car. Therefore, the vehicle's cruising distance can be made longer. And we needed to develop a hydrogen station that can meet with this enhanced cruising speed, a mobile liquid hydrogen station. The difficulty was balancing the improvement in the filling speed and to secure the safety and security for the filling operators. The liquid hydrogen is a liquid at ultra low temperature of minus 253 degrees. And at filling times, there will be heat transmitted from outside of the pipe. And with that heat, it will cause the liquid hydrogen to evaporate. Our challenge was to reduce the evaporation amount and also to allow quick handling of the nozzles and hoses. And by this challenge, the filling time for the hydrogen engine Corolla, we have been able to achieve 1.5 minutes. This is the time of the actual hydrogen being supplied from the nozzle and hose. Even adding the peripheral and auxiliary operations, it has been kept at a level of 3 to 5 minutes. Also, for the mobile liquid hydrogen station that has been developed this time, it is different to the conventional compressed hydrogen supply facility. There are no compressors or pre-coolers needed. Therefore, the required space has been able to be reduced 4 times more, and with its compact size, refilling can be done at the pit area. Going forward, we will further work on reducing the space and together with that, work on improvement in safety and operational handling. The FCVs on the public roads today use compressed hydrogen. But we believe that in the near future, large-size mobility in the cities like trucks, buses, construction machines, trains, airplanes, and ships and vessels will be able to provide the fuel, we will be able to utilize liquid hydrogen for that too, like fuel supply and power generation. So these will be the strong sources for liquid hydrogen consumption. We want to listen to the needs and requirements of our customers and utilize our knowledge and expertise for further development. I hope that you will continue to hold a strong interest in liquid hydrogen. Thank you.
We would like to open up for Q&A session. So we do have a time limitation. So one question per person, please. So I'm going to pass on the microphone if you for asking question. Please raise your hand if you have any question. This is Watanabe speaking from Chunichi News. Thank you for the presentation. So I have a question for Sato-san. So up until last year, so your initiative, I think you talked about, you talked in analogy of climbing Mount Fuji, and you said we are at Gogome, halfway through the mountain. And so it's unfortunate that the hydrogen Corolla cannot make a run this race. But how far will we be climbing the Mount Fuji by the end of this year? Thank you for the question. Last year, we had a high-pressure hydrogen engine technology. So we said we are halfway through Mount Fuji, the 5th or 6th milestone, Gogome. And so this is about, I guess, ICE, internal combustion engine, burning hydrogen in the engine. And if we look at this as a mass production vehicle, so what is the progress of the technology in terms of, reaching mass production? So burning or combustion of hydrogen, that part will not change with the gaseous or liquid hydrogen, and we can enhance the robustness of technology. So the combustion technology, we can climb higher from the 6th milestone of the 10th milestone, Rokugome. But now we need to liquefy the hydrogen and transport that to engine so we can be injected. So we have to take minus 253 degrees Celsius liquid to gasify that. Here we need to take a step back. We are not probably as high as the 5th milestone of the 10. So we are less than halfway through. But if we look back on the start of the project, we are halfway through climbing the mountain. So can we seize the goal by the end of this year? If that's the question, this is the world's first very technically difficult endeavor. So what we see now is not the only challenges we will be facing. It's a trial and error. We capture another challenge, and then we need to take care of those challenges. So maybe you're looking for a more clear answer on how much is our progress. But again, so we are, in a due process of climbing. And that's what this initiative is about. And in the next 24 hours, Super Taikyu at Fuji Speedway, after the race, maybe if you can ask us the question, maybe I can provide a better, crisp answer. Thank you for not completely answering to your question. Thank you.
Thank you. Next person with question, please. Tanigawa-san, please. I'm Impress Car Watch Tanigawa. I want to ask a question to President Majima from Iwatani Corporation. So Iwatani, right now, you have the compressed gas hydrogen station being developed and deployed. This time, Toyota built a liquid hydrogen running vehicle. And I only know the rocket engines that use liquid hydrogen. But if there are more cars in the town with liquid hydrogen usage, then do you think that in town there's going to be liquid hydrogen stations more? And what will be the change in the cities? Efficiency, will it change? What kind of image should we have if there are more liquid hydrogen vehicles running in the town? Thank you for your question. And talking about vehicles, I think it will be the larger size mobilities like trucks and buses that will be first introduced of these liquid hydrogen fuels. And other than that, what we are thinking about is that the next International Expo, we're thinking about a 150 passenger ship using the liquid hydrogen. So when we deploy this into larger size mobility, liquid hydrogen is a big keyword. And in the same way, currently, together with Toyota, we have a project in the state of California in the United States. And in these kinds of projects, we are focusing on liquid hydrogen to use it to have the liquid hydrogen stations for large size mobilities. So this is becoming more mainstream. The scope of and target of the vehicles will be larger. And for the filling speed, I think there are many advantages with liquid hydrogen, and therefore going forward, liquid hydrogen may become mainstream. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's move on to the next question. Hans-san.
I have a basic question about your outlook for hydrogen development, Sato-san. When you took over and you had your announcement in last month about your new management, you were very focused on electrification, and you seem to be redoubling your focus on EVs. And by 2030, you expect to sell around 3.5 million EVs. What is your strategy for hydrogen development in that period? It seems like hydrogen is behind EVs. Why is it that hydrogen is behind electric vehicles? And what is your strategy for stepping up the development of hydrogen vehicles by 2030? What kind of volume do you think you'll have?
はい、質問させていただきます。基本的なその水素技術の開発に関する、見通しについてお伺いしたいと思います。佐藤様、先月新社長になられるという発表がございまして、そこから電動化を、どんどん進めていくというようなアナウンスメントがありまして、特にそのBEVですね、バッテリー EV、に対する、注力し、2030年には、EV350 万台という目標も掲げていらっしゃいます。その同じ時間軸、2030年までの水素の、戦略、そして目標はどのようなものになるのか、拝見してますと、やっぱり水素はどうしても、バッテリー EV に対して少しちょっとテクノロジーとして遅れてしまっているのかなと、開発が遅れているのかなと、このあたりはどういった要因があるのか、そして、今後、水素技術を開発していくための戦略はどのようなもので、2030年ぐらいではその規模感、大体こうどのぐらい何台ぐらいの車両が、水素で走っているという、イメージなのか教えていただければと思います。
ハンさんありがとうございます。
Thank you very much, Hans-san.
まずですね、大前提として我々
First of all, I guess our key assumption, so the carbon neutrality or I guess the carbon neutral future, as we perceive, is we need to take into difference of the needs and situation around energy in local communities, different regions, different local communities. So that's why we need to be able to offer wide range of options. So that's what we express as multi-pathway. So again, depending upon the specific needs of region or local communities, we should be able to solidly, offer energy which is suitable for their needs. So hydrogen, hybrid, plug-in hybrid could be a transitional technology which could filling gap between the current technology and the future technology. So in that sense, Akio-san said we are making full-fledged effort on everything, on every technology. So we are going to see possibility in all the options, technology options. So that's our basic thinking. And we talked about, the battery EV. So that was part of a strategy that I've talked about, that we talked about the other day, as you have mentioned. It was just a part of our strategy. Now, so hydrogen. So what is our ambition for growing hydrogen? What is the size of hydrogen business in 2030? 2 points. One, we need to increase the volume of usage. Now, this is very important. Of course, the use in automotive industry, we have to set up a wider range of options in automotive industry, but we need to stretch the scope of industries who are using hydrogen. We need to engage as many partners as possible in using hydrogen. So it's not just our automotive industry alone that should be looking into the future of hydrogen technology. It should be a cross-industrial effort or vision. Now, so in order for us to increase the penetration of hydrogen in the society, so the infrastructure is very critical. So you need to produce and transport the supply chain, produce and transport. Unless we see evolution there, we cannot expect a volume increase of energy use. So again, we need to continue to establish the overall establishment for using hydrogen engine. And by 2021, so that was not even an option up until 2021. But now, you are starting to see that. You are asking question, what is the volume expectation in 2030? So the question represents how fast we are making evolution with this technology. So we don't have a very specific business goal. At this point of time, we want to ensure that hydrogen will stay as a varied option. And we want to have a comprehensive effort with as many partners, as wide range of partners as possible. And we should focus on such, day-to-day, effort for the time being. Hashimoto-san, if you could please. Hydrogen. So this is a new energy using new technology. So I think maybe some people are skeptical about this new technology. Right now, you are using LNG. So that was considered a mandatory source of energy to sustain our society. So when I first joined the company, we have constructed the first large-scale liquid hydrogen carrier. Do we need to liquefy hydrogen and for transportation? Who's going to use this very expensive vessel? So that's what we experienced in the very early days. But now, looking into having diversified range of options for energy supply for Japan, for Asia, and for world. So LNG is something that we need to use to sustain the energy needs. And in order for us to do that, we have to do that at large scale. Have a large-scale transportation. And that brought the cost of the energy down. That has led to substantial, enormous increase in the penetration. So hydrogen is energy or substance which is very, very difficult to handle. So, but hydrogen can be converted into electricity, or you can do a methanation, and you can change to different gases, or like Toyota-san is, pushing forward with the technology. So, using hydrogen as an alternative for gasoline, that's another option. It is very good combustion efficiency, a very good response engine. So, it's going to be a very high-performance engine, which we can develop using hydrogen as a fuel. we, KHI, foresee potential of hydrogen. So, I mean, it's like LNG at the early days. People are skeptical about the LNG, but now, I mean, the same we can say for hydrogen. So, 40-some years ago, LNG people are skeptical about LNG. So, same thing for the carbon neutral and hydrogen. I believe hydrogen will be playing very big role in achieving carbon neutrality in the future. And this is going to really contribute to, I mean, the resolution of energy security issue and carbon neutrality. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next question, please. Shimashita-san, please. Thank you. I'm a freelancer. My name is Shimashita. I'd like to especially ask to the KHI and also Iwatani Corporation. So for the hydrogen engine, Toyota is going to identify challenges and to clear them, go over those difficulties. It's for us easy to understand what is going to be Toyota's challenge. But for KHI and also Iwatani, by engaging in these kind of motorsports companies, what were you able to gain as a company? What are you expecting to gain as companies? Well, for us, KHI, as Mr. Sato has been mentioning, for hydrogen, even if we make strong efforts in the using side or only on the supply chain side, it won't be in a good circulation. We have to have the supply chain and also the users, the consumers, be in the same cycle. So in parallel, we have to both supply and use. And if that's not achieved, then even if we put a strong effort and create the supply chain, no one will buy it, no one will use it. But on the other side, even if Toyota creates a great hydrogen engine, then the supply chain, if it's not in time, then it will not be used or proliferated. So in that sense, for hydrogen, like Mr. Sato mentioned, we want to have more, as much as possible, like-minded partners. Like LNG, if we have more partners, then there will be a lot of applications, and then there will be a lot of consuming sources, and then the infrastructure will be developed, and as a result, for example, for LNG case, by using natural gas, as many applications were created, and then the price got down and more people were able to use it. So when we think about creating a new supply chain, we have to have the usage side, and for KHI, it's the Kawasaki motorbikes, and there are the airplane side and also the vessels. So we are for having a focus on the usage side, but also the producing side is very necessary. So we're seeing that Toyota is making a big challenge and more partners coming in. This is now a momentum being created. So when the energy demand changes, when the new ages come, everyone talks about who is going to use it if we create new energy. But people who lead these initiatives are the people who believe in that, in the potential, and people who have a strong passion and will. And this time, Toyota is taking that strong will and passion to work in these endeavors. And for us, if we want to take leadership too. With leadership, only with leadership, times can change. Change can happen. So of course, wind, solar, BV, there are various types of necessary energy sources. But together with that, hydrogen for us is indispensable. It will be a future energy indispensable for us too, and it will be something that is usable for people in the future, for everyone too. So that is why our hope is that we can work on the supply chain side as well to see this big circulation created. For us, we have more than 50 hydrogen stations in Japan and supplying hydrogen to FCVs. But when this is expanded to the large size of mobility to bus and trucks, then currently we're using the compressed hydrogen. The issue here will be to have the safety and security and also to fill it very quickly. And we are making the improvements on our dispensers, our equipment, to make these improvements. But this time, liquid hydrogen, filling it into a car has been a big topic for this challenge. So in that sense, having these like-minded partners and being one of those partners and participating ourselves, we believe that these experiences can be applied to our other challenges too.
Next question, please. Umeda-san from TBS. This is Umeda speaking from TBS. I have a question for Sato-san. So the car, in May, you are going to throw in the liquid hydrogen racing car into the race. So the first race is going to be 24 hours because. So I think that's raising the bar a little bit than joining a race from this race, which is much shorter in duration. And also, I think the fire that you have experienced with the hydrogen Corolla, I think there was an issue with piping. So what sort of fix are you putting on the vehicle? First, the improvement to cope with the incident. So we had a joint in the pipeline within the car. We need to have stability there. So we should have a double or triple prevention of slackness in the joint and the pipeline. So we will be installing that technology. So this is not, the issue is not inherent to having a liquid hydrogen. So this could have happened with the gaseous liquid supply as well. So we need to, enhance the safety and security features. So it was a very good learning for us that now we are much more focused on the safety technology. So the first race is going to be now the 24 hours Super Taikyu at Fuji Speedway. What's our perception? Well, so when we did the high pressure gas hydrogen, the first race we have joined. So Akio-san has said, let's do this. And we spent 4 months. And we started off with 24 hours Super Taikyu. So I'm just sort of remembering that. It's a destiny to start new technology with the 24 hours race. So I have a lot of emotion, facing the upcoming the Fuji race. Now, it's the third year of this technology. So we have a lot of know-how and insight which is accumulated within ourselves. And so both presidents of KHI and Iwatani Corporation, Mr. Hashimoto and Mr. Majima, they have very solid technology. And we are supported by such strong partner. So I'm sort of excited about all these challenges. And we should be strongly determined to walk on forward. So I guess that's my current thinking.
Due to the time, we'll keep the questions to two last questions. Next person. I'm Inajima from Bloomberg News. I have a question to President Mr. Sato. For the construction of the hydrogen supply chain, I'm sure that you're going to need enormous amount of investment, and also support from each national government has been announced, but the importance of partner companies is something that you have mentioned. So for the manufacturing of hydrogen, infrastructure building for hydrogen, for those projects, are there any plans for Toyota to make investments in those projects? And one more question. As a GR company president, you have always been going to the racing grounds as the GR company president. But after you become the president and CEO of TMC, what are your plans? Are you going to visit the motorsports racing grounds? Thank you. I received two questions from you. For the first questions about the direct investment from Toyota to construct and build up the hydrogen infrastructure. That was your first question. So basically, I think each individual company's strengths should be utilized and should be worked with good teamwork. So if we have collaboration and partnership and have those opportunities, we will be considering to think of it within our partnership. But it's not that Toyota is going to take a lead in making proactively direct investments in those areas. And your second question, so you used to be GR president and after becoming TMC president, are you going to come to the racing grounds? So having these motorsports, the positioning of motorsports, I think is changing for automobile companies. It is the site to make development for the future technology and also to create the partnerships with like-minded partners. And actually at the background of these races, each OEM communication has become very smooth. And so rather than having discussions in the meeting rooms, we're having these frank environment and frankly speak, more collaboration between the OEMs are being created. Carbon neutrality is not something that Toyota alone can achieve. So at each individual company, there are various challenges, initiatives being made, and these efforts should be supported by everyone in the same industry. That's my understanding. So even after April, I don't think I will change my behavior. I think I'll continue to stand at the Gemba, at the racing grounds, and be a leader in these kinds of initiatives to make ever better cars. Thank you.
Okay, next question is going to be the last question. Anyone? Thank you very much. This is Take from Nikkan. So this is a question for Sato-san, the new president for TMC. So you have to gain understanding from the society on your endeavor for hydrogen technology. So what is the level of understanding, required level of, what is the level of understanding on the society on hydrogen? So what is the misunderstanding? Who is misunderstanding the technology? What sort of misunderstandings are there? How are you going to fix that? How are you going to communicate to eradicate such misunderstanding? Maybe this may not be a direct answer to your question. So hydrogen. So what type of energy is hydrogen? So what can you do using hydrogen? Or what is the benefit of using hydrogen? What is the disadvantage of using hydrogen? So we should see, we should, yes, have much better understanding of the society on hydrogen. So it's not, somebody's particular misunderstanding that we want to change. We want to disseminate the idea of hydrogen as energy. So Iwatani-san, KHI-san, they have been working with hydrogen for over long years. They understand the energy and the significance of hydrogen very well. And we are partnering with such a knowledgeable company. And as we spend time with them, we come to know there's a lot more we need to learn about hydrogen. So we don't want any conflict. So we need to disseminate the understanding of hydrogen as an energy wider into society. Could you comment as well, Hashimoto-san, Mashima-san? Hydrogen has been used to fuel rockets, for instance, from quite a long time ago. Like Sato-san has mentioned, people don't understand hydrogen. Yet, they don't know that it can be used as hydrogen. And there are some misunderstanding about the safety feature of hydrogen. So I think, yes, we need to be very meticulous, prudent in communicating these points. And so we have to communicate hydrogen as a very safe energy. And so that's the type of communication we would like to make, to convince people that this is some hydrogen as an energy that you can use very safely. Okay, so this is not just limited to hydrogen. A fuel could be hazardous depending upon the way you handle it. So like the two presidents has mentioned, we should understand many different aspects, perspective of hydrogen, and we are focused on such communication. For instance, the next generation, for instance, we are running hydrogen classroom for students, for the future generations. So people can understand the hydrogen. And that's what we would like to continue to do. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so we are endeavoring very hard to bring hydrogen energy into reality. It's not just VEV we are focused on. So please, yes, cover Toyota Motor Corporation as a company also focused on hydrogen. So we'll be going into photo session. Please give us a minute or two while we are setting up the venue for photo session. Thank you.
ちょっとアクションが欲しいということですので、それでよろしいですかね。はい。じゃあもう一度手を挙げていただいてよろしいでしょうか。じゃあこれも手を挙げていただいてよろしいでしょうか。よろしいでしょうか。はい。 じゃあ、以上でよろしかったでしょうか。ご協力ありがとうございました。フォトセッション以上でございます。よろしくお願いします。